share, recipe share. Share a little recipe with Recipe Share. Recipe Share, Recipe Share. Share a little recipe with Recipe Share.
Hi everyone, and thank you for joining us for this episode of Recipe Share, a program on AADL TV where we take a few minutes to talk about recipes in a featured category. Today's category is Tasty Seeds. I'm Elizabeth, and as usual, I'm joined today by Beth and Katie to tell us about their recipes. So Beth, go ahead and tell us what you made.
Okay, I'm really excited about this because it was such a delicious granola that I made. It's the Epicdy Granola from Aaron Grinshpan's Eating Out Loud, which is, I know it's a cookbook that Katie recommended to me before. So I found this Epicdy granola. I don't really make granola on a regular basis, but so this is all seeds and coconut. It's sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, sesame, poppy, flax, and then a larger part of coconut flakes. 1 cup of those, and everything else is either half or a quarter cup. Some maple syrup, couple tablespoons of tahini, which I kind of think was a little joke on the part of the author because she uses tahini in everything she says. So, I mean, she did say it's kind of as a joke, but anyway, couple tablespoons tahini, salt, and vanilla extract. And then if you want, you can add dried fruit. So you mix all the stuff together, not the fruit, but you mix it all, spread it out on a pan, and you bake it for 35 minutes. The only caveat there is you do have to stir it up, it says, every 10 minutes. That's what I did both times I made it. I'm kind of curious to see what will happen if I let it slide and I'm not that attentive to it. But anyway, it was like, I was craving it when I couldn't stop eating it. It was super good. It had just a tiny bit of salt. At the first time I made it, I had a little too much salt accidentally, but it was still good. And yeah, it was really good on yogurt and just munching on it. It was, I'm gonna make it again. So yeah, what do you think of that?
I think it sounds really good. I love coconut, so yeah, that mixed with all those seeds sounds delicious. I wonder how it would be like. As if it was like a cereal, like with milk. Do you think it would be weird? I think maybe it's better with yogurt, like you were saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember if my husband tried it like that. It just it was so snackable that I didn't even think about pouring milk on it. It is vegan and gluten-free though, so it's good for that. So yeah. If you don't have any other comments, I'll find out what Katie made this week with seeds.
All right. So I made something called Pistelli, and this is an ancient Greek recipe, and it is made of sesame seeds, honey, and sometimes nuts. So there's a ton of variations of this recipe. If you look online, my online sources were saying that some of these recipes are over 2,500 years old. It's considered to be the first energy bar in history that was eaten by the original Olympians. So I thought that was pretty fun. This version of the recipe, that I came across first, probably about maybe a year or two ago, is from this book, The Kinfolk Table. If you're not totally familiar, Kinfolk is a magazine, and they also produce this series of books. We have all these books at the library: The Kinfolk Table, Kinfolk Home, Entrepreneur, Garden, and then new for 2021, they just came out with Kinfolk Travel, slower ways to see the world. And so I'm on hold for that one. I'm super looking forward to it because these books are just really, really fun to look at. They're big, heavy books, and the paper feels nice. But they've got these beautiful photographs in here, and a lot of the pictures in this book are funny because it's a cookbook, right? But these pictures, a lot are of people. So they're just like really gorgeous pictures of these people, and they tell their stories, and then each person or family picks a recipe or two that they share in the book. So the Pistelli recipe that I found was shared by Gus Aganopoulos and his little daughter Olympia. And I just thought the pictures of her were so sweet. She's just a cutie. But then there's the Pistelli recipe that they shared, and there's not a whole lot of information about this. So that's why I went kind of looking online to see what the origins of this were. But it is so easy to make, you guys. So you just take a cup of sesame seeds and you toast them on the stove for about 5 minutes. And like, that's the hardest part, right? Because you have to stir them constantly to make sure that they're not going to burn. Then you add in a half cup of raw pistachios or almonds that are roughly chopped. I use pistachios both times because they're like one of my favorite nuts, but I'm sure almonds would be good too. And you could do a mixture. I think that would be tasty as well. Once that's toasted, you just put in a tablespoon and a half of honey till everything gets coated, and you lay it out on a flat surface. Both the book and the internet said that traditionally it's supposed to be like a cold marble surface, but I don't have anything like that. So I just use a cutting board with parchment paper on top, and it works totally fine. You can either pat it down or you can roll it out with a rolling pin. I've done both work. You let it sit for 15 minutes. And then you can cut it up with a big knife, or I use a pizza cutter, and that worked really well. And then you can serve them right away, or I actually like them out of the refrigerator a day later. They're really transportable. You would think that they would be crumbly with all of the sesame seeds, but they hold together pretty well. I've taken them for lunch. There's a little picture of them right out of my lunch bag, and see they made it. They'd be really good hiking food too, although I haven't done it. I think that would be really good. Yeah, so that's Pistelli.
So Katie, I love the Kinfolk series. I got that book from my mom for Christmas, probably maybe 5 years ago now. And I'm also on hold for their newest, the Kinfolk Travel. I'm so interested in how simple that sounds. And I can't believe that. So really the honey is the only kind of adhesive for everything, and that holds it together?
I know, it's totally wild. I try so many recipes that are like, this 3-ingredient recipe is like amazing, and nothing comes of it because it all falls apart all the time. I do that. This one works, I promise. Like, I've done it multiple times and it just comes together so nice. And yeah, it's just honey, sesame seeds, and nuts. That's it. Really cool stuff.
Yeah, that sounds very tasty. And I have a ton of sesame seeds now. So, doesn't it get like too sticky to work with, or not really?
It really doesn't. So, I use parchment paper, in between it and the cutting board. And then I did put parchment paper in between it and the rolling pin, but I honestly don't even think it was necessary. I really don't think it just doesn't stick. It's kind of like magic. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So Beth, tell us what you chose. No, you already told us. Elizabeth, tell us what you chose for your tasty seeds recipe.
I will. So I'm excited about my recipe too. I made it for dinner, and it turned out really well. So what it is it's a 1-pot chicken thighs with couscous, olives, and pomegranate arils or pomegranate seeds. I don't know if I'm saying that right. ARILS is how it's spelled. And I don't like working with pomegranate because I think it's a huge mess and it's a pain and it takes forever to get the seeds out and like pick out the white stuff that you don't want to eat. But I do like pomegranate. I think it's delicious. And I know that you can get at the store now, like just the kind of, I don't, it's not really a jar, but you can get the container it's like already seeded. Anyway, I got a whole pomegranate. We'll get to that later. But basically, I used a Dutch oven for this. You sear some chicken thighs on both sides on the stove, take them out of the Dutch oven, and then add couscous, some chopped dates, some chopped green olives. They suggest the Castelvetrano olives, and then a chopped shallot and water. And then you nestle the chicken thighs back in, bake it in the oven for 15-ish minutes until the thighs are cooked through and the couscous has absorbed the water. And then you take it out and sprinkle with the pomegranate seeds. I have a photo of what it looks like when it comes out of the oven. And it was very, very easy. Again, one pot. The hardest part was definitely dealing with the pomegranate seeds, but I thought it was really worth it because they added such great like pops of bright flavor and crunch. And it was just like really good with the rest of the dish, which was kind of like hot and a little sweet from the dates. So it was just like really good. I also have a photo here of what it looks like on my plate, which was really yummy. The one thing I will say if I was going to make this again, which I do plan to, is I think I would actually add the olives at the end rather than baking them in with the dish because they did lose some of that really nice briny flavor that I love in olives. And so I felt like that didn't really come through since they had been like baked in with the couscous and the rest of the chicken and stuff. So I would probably stir those in at the end, kind of when I added the pomegranate seeds. But overall, really yummy dish. It suggests that you also kind of coarsely chop up some either parsley or like basil or something, just kind of a fresh herb to top it with, which I didn't have that, but I think next time I would like to add that, just that freshness of a little bit of greenery on top as well. So really yummy. I'm looking forward to making it again. And I love one pot meals because I don't like doing dishes. And this one was like super easy to throw together.
That sounds so good. I have been actually looking at several recipes with olives and chicken and trying to figure out what to do. And I also avoid pomegranate recipes, even though I love them. So I might have to give this a try. I did miss in the beginning. Did you use bone in or boneless chicken thighs?
So I didn't mention that. I used bone in, but I think you could use boneless and probably just alter the cooking time slightly. But I kind of like the bone in because I think it just adds a little bit more flavor. But yeah.
Cool.
It's funny. I wouldn't have thought of pomegranate in the seed category. So very clever.
Oh, yeah. Totally original. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Pomegranate is annoying, but I think every so often it's worth tackling. So
yeah.
Cool. Well, if there are no other comments, I will take us out by saying thank you for watching Recipe Share, and be sure to click the link below to look at the event page on aadl.org to find the recipes we talked about, and feel free to share your own in the comments if you would like. Join us next time when we'll be talking about leafy greens. We're looking forward to seeing what you've been making, so thanks for sharing and for watching.
Recipe Share, share a little recipe.